So for number 1, enumerate and define the different learners with additional needs. So for number 1 is students with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder o ADHD. So individuals with ADHD may struggle with attention, impulse control, and hyperactivity, affecting their ability to focus and regulate behavior in educational settings. So for number 2 is gifted and talented students. These students demonstrate exceptional abilities or potential in more areas, such as academics, creativity, or leadership. They may require differentiated instruction to meet their advanced learning needs. For number 3 is students with difficulty seeing. These students have visual impairments that may range from partial to total blindness. They may require accommodation such as large print materials, braille resources, tactile graphics, or assistive technologies like screen readers to access educational content effectively. Number 4 is students with issues regarding hearing. This category includes students with varying degrees of hearing loss, ranging from mild to profound. They may benefit from accommodations such as hearing aids, FM systems, sign language interpreters, or captioning service, and visual aids to support communication and access to auditory information. Number 5, students with difficulty and communication. These students may have challenges in expressing themselves verbally or understanding spoken language. They may require augmentative and alternative communication systems, such as pictures, boards, communication devices, or sign language to facilitate communication with peers and educators. For number 6, students with difficulty moving or walking. These groups comprises students with physical disabilities that affect their mobility or ability to walk independently. They may require accommodation such as wheelchair accessible facilities, assistive devices, or physical modifications to the learning environment to ensure accessibility and participation in educational activities. For number 7, students with difficulty remembering and focusing. These students may have challenges with attention, memory, or executive functioning, impacting their ability to concentrate, retain information, and organize tasks. For number 2, compare and contrast the learners with additional needs based on the identification and learning characteristics. So for identifications, students with difficulty seeing, students with issues regarding hearing, students with difficulty in communication, students with difficulty moving or walking, students with difficulty remembering and focusing. So for learning characteristics, it also involves students with difficulty seeing, students with issues regarding hearing, students with difficulty in communication, students with difficulty moving or walking, and students with difficulty remembering and focusing. So for number 3, what challenges do learners with speech and language difficulties encounter in the areas of communication and socialization? So, learners with speech and language difficulties face significant challenges in communication and socialization that can impact various aspects of their lives. Expressive communication and words accurately can lead to frustration and misunderstandings during interactions with peers and teachers. These learners may struggle to express their thoughts and ideas clearly, which can hinder their academic progress and social integration. Receptive communication challenges pose additional hurdles as understanding spoken language and following instructions become arduous tasks, often resulting in misinformation or confusion and classroom setting. And last, what accommodation can be given to learners with communication disabilities? So, learners with disabilities in communications benefit from a variety of accommodation tailored to their specific needs, which can significantly enhance their learning experiences and social interactions. These accommodations encompass a range of strategies aimed to supporting expressive and receptive communication skills. For instance, augmentative and alternative communication methods such as picture boards or speech generating devices provide alternative means for students to express themselves when verbal communications is challenging.
So the next question is, what are the similarities and differences between learners with developmental coordination disorder and stereotypic movement disorder? So the similarities between DCD or coordination disorder and stereotypic movement disorder is they are both often manifest in childhood, involve difficulties related to motor skills and movements, and they can impact the daily functioning and social interactions. While their differences are, so the CDC involves difficulties in coordination and motor skills, diagnosed based on motor coordination assessments, and the interventions focus on improving motor skills. So while stereotypic movement disorder involves repetitive purposeless movements diagnosed by observing repetitive and involves managing and reducing repetitive. So that is the similarities and differences between the CDC or the CDC and the stereotypic movement disorder. The next question is, how can a classroom be arranged to help learners with difficulty in moving or walking? So, to create an inclusive classroom environments for learners with difficulty in moving or walking, we must ensure that seating arrangements are flexible and allow for easy access for students with mobility challenges. So keep pathways clear of obstacles to facilitate movement within the classroom. Provide adaptive equipment like adjustable desks or chairs to accommodate different needs. So use technology to support learning and communications for students with mobility issues. Work with occupational therapists or special education professionals to design supportive classroom layout. So the next question is, how is learning disability different from specific learning disability or the SLD? So what are the different types of SLD? So the different between learning disability and specific learning disability is, so LD is general term that refers to a range of learning difficulties that affect academic performance. So it encompasses various learning challenges including difficulties with reading, writing, math, and performances. So, uh, math, performances, and reasoning. So, LD is based on assessments of cognitive abilities and academic performances, while the SLD is more specific category of LD that refers to particular difficulties in one or more areas of learning. And so it focuses on specific challenges like dyslexia. The dyslexia is what we mean the difficulty in reading. So dyscalculia, this is the difficulty in solving mathematical problems. And dysgraphia, so difficulty in writing. So SLD can diagnose when there are significant discrepancies between a student's intellectual abilities and academic achievements in specific areas. So what are the types of SLD? So here are the types of SLD, just like what I mentioned a while ago. It is the dyslexia, which is difficulty with reading, decoding, and comprehension. The next one is dyscalculia, challenges with mathematical concepts and calculations. Dysgraphia, difficulty with writing, handwriting, and expressing thoughts on paper. And the auditory processing disorder. So this difficulty processing auditory information, which can affect language and learning. So those are the different types of SLD, or the specific learning disability.
How can lesson and concept be presented to maximize learning among students with memory and focusing difficulties? To maximize learning among students with memory and focusing difficulties, lessons should be presented using multisensory approaches, breaking content into smaller, manageable chunks, and incorporating frequent review and practices, and utilizing visual aids and hand-on activities. Additionally, creating a structured and predictable classroom environment, providing clear and concise instruction, and offering positive reinforcement can significantly enhance their learning experience. What educational approaches can be used to teach? Approaches to teach learners how to care for themselves. Educational approaches to teach self-care include using role-playing scenarios, incorporating visual aids and step-by-step instructions, providing hands-on on practice opportunities, and integrating self-care routines into daily activities. Additionally, educators can use positive reinforcement, creating structured schedules, and offer personalized guidance to reinforce self-care skills in habits.